Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today we're going to be doing the next video in this little series of queer book recs for Pride Month, and today's video is talking about Achillean books. I hope you all enjoyed the video and let's just get started. Also, if you're wondering where a couple of the books are, although I'm going to mention it really quickly, but some of my very top favourite series are in the first, my top queer books of all time video that I posted at the beginning of the month. So definitely check that one out as well. I've also already done a Sapphic books recommendations, and I will probably do another Sapphic one. I was making that video and there was loads of books I kept wanting to mention that I was trying to limit myself to 8 books, but then there's more and more, so yeah, I just got carried away. So anyway, we'll try and keep the recommendations semi-short in this video. But I hope you will enjoy. So the first series I'm going to really quickly mention because I talked about it more in the top books video. That is the Night Runner series by Lynn Welling. I love this series. It's like a queer fantasy written in the 90s, which is really cool. It's very classic fantasy feeling, lots of kind of skullduggery and mischief, and cool fantasy elements. So yeah, would really recommend this one, but I will just mention that one quickly. So a recent one that I read, only read it in May, but I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did, and it is not over the top. No, it's not a super action-packed fantasy. It's very quiet, cozy slice of life type book, and that is So This Is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. And I really enjoyed it, and it's very very wholesome. And so we're following this crew of characters who have defeated the bad guy, and now it's what comes after that. So the main character, I think, is called Arik, and he has now become the king because he struck the killing blow on this evil king, and took up the crown. So now he's in charge of this kingdom. So he has to try and rule, but and his group of friends who helped him defeat the evil king are still with him, trying to now help him rule the kingdom. But basically he's told this crown will kill him in a few months if he doesn't get married and bind his soul to someone. So he is now out to woo someone to make him their spouse. But Arik has also been in love with his best friend Matt for many years. So he decides that he's gonna woo one of his friends, but due to various misunderstandings he thinks Matt doesn't like him, although it's kind of obvious to the reader that they do like each other. But then so he tries to woo each of their other friends by following these this old queen has left a diary, and she was wooing her I don't know, one of her handmaidens or something, and he reads her diary to find out how to woo. It's a bit ridiculous, but it's so cute. And then he tries to get himself into these situations with each of his friendship group, but he ends up in each of these situations with Matt, which is so funny, and it is just really good. It's very it is kind of high stakes, I guess, because he's gonna die if he doesn't find someone, but it's just really the pining and the friends to lovers, and just the whole friendship group was really iconic. I loved them all. And they're just the friendships and the very wholesomeness of it, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. So yeah, if you're looking for just a good time. And I think what made me want to read this top was the fact that it's narrated by the audiobook narrator for the Murderbot books, and I feel that just made it so much better because it felt like Murderbot was telling the story. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that one. Okay, then next we have A Strange and Stubborn Endurance by Foss Meadows. I believe this one comes out in July 2022, in case you're watching this video in the future. And this one I really enjoyed because it has one of my favourite tropes, which is an arranged marriage. So this one follows this character called Velasin, and he basically is due to be betrothed or married to this princess from this other kingdom for political alliance. But he gets caught with this other man, and in his kingdom that's seen as really bad. But in this other kingdom, they who have sent an envoy to collect him, they're oh, no big deal, just marry the prince instead. So then he goes away to this other kingdom to marry the prince, and then so they're in this arranged marriage now. But in the new kingdom, there's some political factions that are not happy about this new marriage. And also I'm pretty sure there's murders going on as well, so they're trying to solve it, and then yeah, and then there's also some healing going on because Velicin has been sexually assaulted, so I feel like that's a big trigger warning, and also quite a nice healing journey, I would say. So yeah, that's that one. And yeah, I just really love the relationship, and just, oh yeah, I feel like all the fake marriage tropes are just always so good, like the forced proximity, and like there's only one bed, and like when you know they're like falling for each other but they haven't acknowledged it yet, and like the, oh, I don't know, it's just so good. So if anyone has any like arranged marriage recommendations, like any sort of combination, like MF, FF, MM, anything, I just would love to know. Yeah, I feel like I need to read a sapphic arranged marriage book, because I feel like I haven't read one, I don't think, but I need it. So yeah, so I really enjoyed that one. And then I feel like, I don't know why I think they're similar in my head. They are kind of similar, but I think I just read them like the same weekend or something because I was catching up on my arcs. And that is A Taste of Iron and Gold, which this one is, we're following this prince, Cadu, and he has like got himself in this like, not exactly a diplomatic incident, but he's had this incident, and his sister the queen says like, you need to get your act together, and in order to do this we're gonna assign you this like bodyguard called Evermere, and he's like really like obeys the rules and like stoic and stuff, and so yeah, he gets this new bodyguard. There's a lot more like going on in the world, because there's this like political plot with these like coins, and there's this like mint is like forging all these coins, so there's kind of a like political and like, yeah, anyway, so there's that going on at the same time. And then there's also Cadu and Evermere who are trying to investigate this, even though Cadu has been told by his sister the queen that he should not be getting involved in politics for the time being while this like mess settles down, but Cadu and Evermere are investigating it anyway, and yeah, and then they get closer, obviously, and it's a romance, so but I just really enjoyed this one, partly because of the writing. I really loved it. It reminded me a lot of The Goblin Emperor, same like cozy sort of vibes, but I feel like this one's probably a bit darker maybe, and Cadu has anxiety, and I really like the anxiety rep in this book. But it's very like, I would say it's quite triggering if you aren't prepared for it, or if you find that kind of thing triggering, because like the panic attacks were one of the like most sort of visceral panic attacks I've ever read. Yeah, so I'd be aware of that, but yeah, and again, it's another one with lots of my favourite like romancy tropes, like, yeah, so like I feel like I'm just a sucker for the forced proximity. I just love it. So anyway, so I really enjoyed that one as well. Okay, another book I really enjoy and is very beautiful is A Marvellous Light by Freya Marks, and this one is like a sort of Regency romance type thing, but with magic, and I absolutely cannot wait for the sequel to this one, which is going to be sapphic, and it's been described as lesbian knives out on a boat, and that just makes me so excited. So yeah, anyway, this one we're following Edwin and Robin, and they have one of my favourite dynamics, which is like himbo and like grumpy scholar, like sunshiny himbo and grumpy scholar, and oh, I love that. And yeah, so this one, so basically I think Robin has like takes on this job which he doesn't really know anything about, but it is essentially the like magical liaison between the like human world and the magical world. Robin doesn't have any magic, but he takes on this role because his predecessor to this job has been murdered, but he doesn't really know anything about that, so he unwittingly is assigned to this job, and he is like attacked by these people who think he knows stuff and like think he knows what happened to his like predecessor, and he gets like cursed with this like arm tattoo thing that's gonna like grow and kill him probably if it gets to his heart or whatever, and so he then teams up with this other character called Edwin, who's like his equivalent but from the magical world. So Edwin like initiates him into the magical world, and is trying to help him solve like how to get rid of his curse, and then they go off to Edwin's like family's estate for this like house party thing, and it's very like, I would say Gatsby-esque, this like house party for the rich, and so yeah, that's basically what happens. And then it's a romance as well, but there's also like this magical threat, and then I actually really like later in the book the magic turns a bit naturey, which I really liked. So yeah, so we'd definitely recommend this one. It's lots of fun. The thing at the top is like mystery, magic, murder, marvellous. So yeah, it was good. Would highly recommend this one as well. Oh, and then a book I haven't talked about in ages is Winter's Orbit. Oh, I love that one. That's another arranged marriage one. I feel like there's certain tropes which I'm just a sucker for. One of the main characters, Kiem, is like this sunshine prince, like very similar to Adeline. Those types of characters I always love. Yeah, and then he's an arranged marriage with this other character called Jayen, and they have to like make this marriage convincing in order to appease this like intergalactic treaty thing that's going on. But Jayen has been quite badly treated in his previous marriage, so he's sort of dealing with that like abuser survivor type effects on his sort of mental psyche and stuff. And I feel like that's handled very well. And yeah, and Kiem's like just this like ball of sunshine that's helping him heal, and I just love that. And I really liked all the politics as well of the world, and the like more sci-fi elements. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one as well. And a few non like SFFy books. So first one is a book that I thought was gonna be just this like cute rom-com, and then it made me like sob about 3 times, and that was The Charm Offensive. And this book just hit me in the feels because I feel like it's both main characters have a lot of sort of mental health issues, and the intersection of like mental health and queerness I just felt like really hit home. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. Following this, like, it's this like reality TV show called, I think it's called Ever After, and it's like this like fairy tale type bachelor thing, and so there's like the main, like the prince, and then he has to choose like a princess. So the main character Charlie, he's like the prince, and he is on this show to try and reform his image in like the tech world, because he's like a tech person, and so but he's like had a falling out with his last job and stuff. So yeah, but then when he's on the show, he starts falling for his like producer handler instead, called Dev. Yeah, and it's a really cute romance, but just the like the mental illness rep and just the themes and stuff just made me, yeah, feel things. And like Charlie discovering his sexuality as well. And yeah, so Charlie has like OCD, kind of generalized anxiety, and like panic attacks, I would say. And then Dev has depression, and I just really liked all the like mental health rep as well. And yeah, it's just really good. Would definitely recommend. And then also some historical romance, which I love. So I feel like I discovered these because, well, I discovered KJ Charles because I was like on Audible Plus, and I was looking for like romancy books, and then obviously I went on LGBT books, and then these ones were like, most of the stuff on Audible Plus for LGBT romances just looks really bad, but these ones sounded okay. So I listened to them and I really loved them. So then I fell down a KJ Charles rabbit hole, and like I love her books. They're just so like comforting and cozy, and yeah, I would say my favourite ones. Oh, I recently read The Henchman of Zenda, and I wasn't expecting to love this one, but I really did. It's like, I think it's a retelling of The Legend of Zenda, but following like one of the henchmen called Jasper, and it's just so much fun. Like, I think I was feeling a bit down that week. I don't know why. But I just read this and it just really cheered me up. I wouldn't really call it a romance, to be honest, but the main character Jasper, he's Achillean, and it's just so much fun. Like, there's so much like shenanigans and politics, and I think reading that made me want a KJ Charles high fantasy. I would love to see that. And then my favourite book by her, I think, is called what's it called? An Unsuitable Heir, which is actually like male non-binary. And I just really love that one. Like, I love how silly and goofy the like romance is. And like yeah, and there's like one of the love interests is they and their sister have like one of the best like relationships. I don't know, like sibling relationships. I just love that. So yeah, I'm trying to think of other favourites. Oh, Band Sinister. I love Band Sinister. That's a great book as well. Yeah, and then also Cat Sebastian, who I'm not sure how I discovered her actually. I feel like I saw someone reading The Queer Principles of Kit Webb on Twitter, and then I just saw it and thought it sounded good, so then I read that one. And then I'm really excited for the sequel, well, not sequel, but like companion to that, called The Perfect Crimes of Marion Hayes, which is coming out in June, but that's like MF. Yeah, what other books have I read by her? Oh, The Missing Page and Hither Page, although they're actually, it should be Hither Page, The Missing Page, but I read them in the wrong order. And they are so cute. They're like really like cozy mystery. Yeah, I wouldn't really, well, they are historical romance, but they're not like Regency romance. They're set in like the 1940s. And then I also read the like Soldier, Scoundrel, Lawrence Brown Affair, what's the other one? The Ruin of a Rake, and A Little Like Mischief. So A Little Like Mischief is sapphic. But I read them as well. I really loved them. The Ruin of a Rake is probably my favourite like historical romance, I think. I don't know why, I just really loved it. Yeah, so anyway, have I read any more of his? No. Anyway, so yeah, that is my recommendations. I feel like I've just been waffling on for the past few minutes. But if you're looking for like historical, queer historical romance, then I would definitely recommend both those authors. Anyway, let me know in the comments any recommendations you have as well. I'm sure other people would love to know. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I hope everyone is having a really great day, and I will see you next time.